Hello, and welcome. This is the 3 things you need to know. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 things that you need to know about buying a home in 2021. I am Shelley Zavitz. I am a licensed realtor in Oregon for Dwell Realty, and I'm with Tammy Wittren of Guild Mortgage. Welcome, welcome. Tammy, what is the first thing that someone needs to know about buying a home in 2021 here in Portland Metro?
I would say time is of the essence. Rates are remarkable. Rates are so low because we have a global pandemic. And so there is a time limit on when rates will increase. I don't know what that looks like, but I do know rates are so darn low right now that buying a house right now really impacts a client's ability to afford more house.
So when people hear that, when they say interest is at all-time low, we're actually not just saying it right now. Like, what does it really mean? Why is right now such a big deal for everyone?
So we're just going to talk about the last 5 years, which is not a normal market. Please understand, everyone, normal rates, I've been doing this 33 years. Normal rates have not been normal in the last 10 years because we had the financial meltdown of our market.
Right.
Prior to that, we had 9/11. We have been recovering financially in this market. And then now you add the pandemic, and this is a global thing, not just in the US, and it's affecting everything. We will not see a rise in rates until we know that we are through this pandemic. We are a heck of a lot further through it than ever before since the vaccines are being pushed out to the world. So when they get out there, as everybody starts to get vaccinated and the economy recovers, please remember rates are going to go up, and none of us have any control over that.
What's a normal rate? What's a normal rate prior to crash, prior to pandemic?
Like 8%.
8%, and we're at around 3-ish.
2.75-ish. High twos. Just think of that.
It changes all the time, just so you know.
Every day, all day. But average rate right now, let me give you some little fun facts. So a rate of 2.75 with the loan amount of $350 would give you a payment of about, let's just round up and say $450. Okay.
Okay.
That same $350 loan amount at an interest rate of say 4.5 is a payment of $1,775. So that differential is like $340 a month.
340, and then if it was 8%, you're not getting.
Oh my gosh, yes, multiplier. Exactly.
Come on, people.
So the differential, Shell, but what this means to the client is for every $10,000 right now that you increase in sales price, it's about $41 a month to you.
Right.
Couple lattes, right?
Right.
But big picture, that $350 payment at $1,430 at 2.75, if you are just going to match it to the $1,775 because you have a differential in savings of $344, that gives you almost $90,000 more in purchasing power.
So number 2 is that in our market, we are in a seller's market, right? So the second thing that you need to know is right now we are in a seller's market. So what that means is in a seller's market, it means that there is less inventory than there is buyers. So the buyer demand is pushing up values, right? And don't let that scare you. You probably have heard, you go to work or Zoom right now, and you're like, so I had to pay X amount above just to get the house, and I'm having to compete, right? And that can feel uncomfortable for some buyers. But when you think about it and you compare it to interest rates being so low and that $90,000 in our scenario of all this power that you have, Tammy, if somebody were to offer above list price in our scenario, say it was 500,000, right? That we used.
So I use 350. Yeah, but let's use 350. 500.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's use 500. And they had to go, let's say, make it easy, 10% above list price in their actual month-to-month payment, mortgage payment. What would that really look like?
Roughly in that scenario, Shell, it's about $60. But back if we were talking with that loan amount of $350, remember, for every $10,000 right now, that gives you purchasing, it only changes your payment about 41 bucks a month. Market in a seller's market, you have how many offers on, let's call it a $500,000 house? How many offers would you have?
I mean, right now, I would say it's anywhere between 5 and 10 buyers will come in with offers. And
all at the same time.
All at this, well, we will have a deadline because we need to make it fair for everyone. Everyone needs to be able to see the house. Let me get this right.
People, the seller says, I'm going to look at offers on at X time.
Yes, that's right. That's
wow, right. That really means seller's market.
Yeah, and it's because we're trying to make it fair for everyone. It's not because we're trying to dig for offers. It's just that we want to allow everyone to have an opportunity equally. Like say we have 5 offers. I do a summary for each offer on the terms because it's price, but it's also the rest of it. And the rest of it is, when will they close? Will they give a rent back because maybe the seller needs to move out? Or other things that the seller cares about is if you're offering above list, will it appraise? Can I call the lender? Is it a lender that is a robo something, and if something goes sideways in the deal and they're not going to answer the phone, then we're not going to close. So I'm really looking at who is most likely to close. So it's price, terms, who can actually close. And that really comes down to who their buying team is. And part of their buying team is the lender, right?
Yeah. Right. Do people offer under sales price right now, or is that off the table?
No, if we have a deadline, you have one shot at it. And it depends, I will call, if I'm representing a buyer, I will call the listing agent and I will gather information. So then I have an idea, okay, well, how can we strategize our offer to be on the top pile, right?
Yeah, right. Who your agent is, their reputation in the marketplace, how they collaborate with others is as vitally important as just writing the offer, correct?
Absolutely. And it comes down to negotiation skills. Like how you negotiate. If you always are at an adverse stance with the other party, you're probably not going to get everything you want for your buyer.
Exactly.
If you have a good reputation about negotiating in a way that is strong, but also collaborative, you're going to get a lot more.
It does matter. It matters who you work with. I don't care what anyone says. Just like in the lending field, tell me if you believe this is true. To have a local lender with a very visible presence that is known for closing on time as promised, for dealing with issues, but being available nights, weekends, that matters, correct?
Oh, most deals happen on the weekend.
Yeah.
And the fact that like, if you can't get a hold of your lender to get your letter so that you can get your offer in on the weekend, I mean, that's a big deal. That could have you missing a lot of opportunities, quite frankly.
Probably be able to contact your lender and say, hey, I'm thinking about this listing. The price is a little bit higher than I'm thinking. Send me a cost estimate. Doesn't this happen all the time?
Yeah, and you need to know how much you're going to pay monthly, right?
Exactly, or close to, and be educated about that. And our job as loan officers, we need to make sure we educate the client about a seller's market in our market. What it means if you have to waive your appraisal contingency. What it means to a lender if you're going to waive home inspection or costs up to say $2,000 or something. So making sure that you're connected with people that serve you, that you feel represented in the single biggest purchase of your life, I think is so fundamentally important. And in my opinion, some people overlook it because they believe that the interest rate matters, or they're going to go to a lower cost realtor, et cetera, just use the listing agent.
Right. I would say too, as a final thought, that the seller pays for commissions in a transaction. For you to go with a discount real estate agent, I mean, you get what you pay for, but the seller pays that commission, not the buyer. So when you are looking for someone to represent you in one of the biggest purchases of your life, maybe choose somebody who knows a lot about what they're doing and they really, really care that you get into the right spot. Yeah. Tammy, thank you for joining me today. Awesome 3 things. All right.
Thanks,